Yes, sir. Okay. Welcome, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. Good evening, Joshi sir, Kadre sir.
Yes, sir.
Kallurkar here.
Yes. कसे आहेत सर?
बस ठीक मजेत.
Sir, welcome back to SGGS.
Thank you sir, thank you.
कल्लूरकर सर नमस्कार.
नमस्कार. बरं वाटतं तुम्ही सगळ्यांची भेट झाली म्हणजे छान वाटतं. माहेरी आल्यासारखं वाटतंय मला तर.
हो ना सर.
तुम्ही भेटले की सगळे.
येस
ओके सर.
रियुनियन समजा सर.
रियुनियन. येस डेफिनेटली.
आपण थोड्या वेळ वाट बघू मग अजून जॉईन होण्याची. संजय सर, कल्लूरकर सरांना एकदा सॉरी विद्यासागर सरांना एकदा जस्ट पिंग करा.
रिमाइंडर करतो सर.
येस.
हॅलो सर.
Hello.
येस सर. वेलकम सर.
Thank you.
येस सर. वेलकम सर.
Thank you very much.
येस.
काय म्हणताय?
मजेत सर. पण आहेत. येस.
अच्छा.
Sir, नमस्कार.
नमस्कार जोशी सर. काय म्हणताय?
Welcome.
हो, धन्यवाद.
सर 5 मिनिटं राहिली आहेत. 5 मिनिटात सुरू करू.
हो. आधी काय प्रॉब्लेम?
सर युट्यूबला स्ट्रीम करणार आहे ना? युट्यूबला गजरे सर युट्यूबला स्ट्रीम केल्यानंतर ना एक लिंक शेअर करा मला सर.
हॅलो. संजय सर.
सर.
काय म्हणत होते?
युट्यूबला सर स्ट्रीम केल्यानंतर लिंक शेअर करा मला.
युट्यूब की लिंक तीच काल शेअर केलेली जी आहे ती.
लाईव्ह सध्या आता स्ट्रीम केव्हा 5 वाजता करायचं ना?
नाही, ती कालची जी आहे ना तीच राहील. आता शेअर केली तरी चालेल.
ओके.
फक्त ऍक्च्युअल स्ट्रीम 5 वाजता सुरू होईल. ते आमचे जे IT सर आहेत ना,
हो.
ही इज हँडलिंग दॅट थ्रू OBS. आणि त्यांनी हे स्क्रीन तिथे लावून ठेवलेली आहे, फक्त लाईव्ह केलेली नाहीये.
चालेल चालेल.
हा ठीक
आहे. राखी मॅडम.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hi. Good evening, sir.
गुड इव्हनिंग.
Good evening.
Yes.
गुड इव्हनिंग मॅडम.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. How are you?
I am good.
So nice that you all are taking up such a great initiative with this kind of topics and the best of the speakers. So that is quite interesting, and we're looking forward for this great session.
Yes, madam. And the credit goes to IES Forum.
Yeah.
Yes,
he
sir,
is connecting
for, yes, sir. Yeah, Invention, Entrepreneurship and Startup Forum.
Yeah. In fact, AGGS is a pioneer in establishing the Entrepreneurship Center
Yes, sir.
in the state of Maharashtra.
Yes, you were pioneer, sir. You had.
Yeah. Myself means, naturally AGGS.
Yes.
So I will just, I think people
Madam,
have.
you sure?
Yeah, so I think once I start, I will hand it over to Dr. Suhas, right?
Right.
After that, I will invite Dr. Yashwant Joshi, the director. And with that, I'll hand it over to you, Sanjay sir, right?
Yes. I will introduce Vidyasagar,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Then we'll continue session.
Yes. I think now we'll mute ourselves and we'll start the stream. Is it okay? And exactly at 5 o'clock we can go live.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I have to share the screen.
No, I have shared already one initial slide. I will give you go ahead when you can share your screen.
Okay, fine. Take it.
Right. Hello.
हा सर, राखी मॅडम इकडे पीपीटी शेअर करतील.
हो.
करेक्टेड पीपीटी करा.
मी माझी जी पीपीटी आहे ती सध्या बंद करतो आता. ओके. ऑलरेडी बंद केली आहे म्हणजे. राईट. मी लाईव्ह करायला सांगतो त्यांना 1 मिनिटात.
हा यस. येस राखी मॅडम.
नाही, एकच मिनिट थोडस त्यांना लाईव्ह करायला सांगतो आधी. पाकळे सर, तुम्ही ऐकताय? पाकळे सर.
आपने पीपीटी शेअर किया है.
पाकळे सर, एकच कॉल करतो जस्ट. शेअर करायचं का मग लाईव्ह सुरू करायचं? ओके, ठीक. येस सर. मॅडम, यू कॅन स्टार्ट शेअरिंग. वेलकम एव्हरीबडी.
Yes, sir. I will welcome first all and then hand over to the Rakhi madam.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, can we start?
Yes, sir, you can start.
Yes.
And SGDS Institute of Engineering and Technology, Nanded. We welcomes all of you. Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Startup Forum, IES Forum, is an initiative by a faculty from various
mentors in and business development practices to generate a social.
To begin the session. Over to you, madam. Thank you, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Oh, yes.
Yes, madam.
A very good evening to one and all present here. I welcome on behalf of Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Startup Forum and Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Institute of Engineering and Technology, Nanded. Both of the forum and the institute have jointly collaborated and coming up with this webinar on changing mindset with changing times, which is a very apt topic looking at the current scenario, where we are talking about new education policy, we are talking about startups, we are talking about innovation, we are talking about everything which has to change at a specific impact, with a specific impact and at a particular speed. Let me take you very briefly about the Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Startup Forum, which is a group of people and individuals who are associated with respective colleges, who are startup founders, who are those faculties involved in entrepreneurship cell and innovation cell, incubation managers, industry mentors, and industry people who have jointly come together to set up an ecosystem at Maharashtra level to begin with, where we can provide support not only in our respective institutes and the students, but even amongst ourselves, and jointly work towards creating this ecosystem with a higher impact. The objective of the forum is more about developing that leadership, supporting and creating that synergy among various institutes, and thereby creating a social impact when it comes to all these stakeholders, whether we talk about government, we talk about employment creation, we talk about support to the faculties, we talk about support to alumni. So that's the clear objective of the forum. And how are we doing it? We are doing it by by getting all the institutes together, by conducting various programs, by providing support, and by integrating everyone together so that we all can jointly work towards the success of a startup ecosystem. When it comes to the team of IES Forum, the most important thing when we talk about innovation and entrepreneurship, it is always said that we need to have industry people connected, because that brings a clear critical path for the success. So we have Mr. Shailendra Goswami, apart from various other people who are on our board. Mr. Shailendra Goswami is the chairman and managing director of Pushkaraj Group. And we have various other industry mentors. We have another senior person is Dr. Shrikant Kalurkar, who had a lot of experience in the field of entrepreneurship and have guided various people in this field, in this ecosystem. He's a principal of Atharva College of Engineering, Mumbai. We have with as another person who is very dynamic in creating an incubation center, and he's managing an incubation at RIT TBI. He is Mr. Suryakant Dodmise, and he's very good in getting that government support. Another person in our team is Mr. Sandeep Magdam. He's the head of IIC Training and Placement Cell, GIT, Ratnagiri. He is also a member of the Training and Placement Cell of Maharashtra. Mr. Sanjay Jagtap, he's the head of Entrepreneurship Development Cell and DST NEMAT Coordinator. He's serving as an Assistant Professor Maths at JSPM's ICOER, Pune. Myself, I'm Dr. Rakhi Sharma. I'm serving as an Incubator and Accelerator Center convener at Jai Hind College, Mumbai, and have been associated with the entrepreneurship almost last 14 years. Another person in our team is Mr. Sopan Aghav, who is a certified trainer in entrepreneurship development and is also a DST NEMAT coordinator, MCA department, PCCOE, Pune. So our aim is to basically, these are few of us who started this forum, and now we have so many other people and faculties who have taken a lead and we have region-wise lot of people who are becoming a member and are taking benefit of the forum. The objective is that we all want to, we all believe in creating this kind of change, and we also believe that if we all come together, we will definitely create an impact, not only at Maharashtra level, but national and international level as well. On this note, I would like to invite Dr. Suhas Gajre, who is a professor and dean, Incubation Center at Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Institute of Engineering and Technology, Nanded, to give us a brief overview of the institute. We are very thankful to Dr. Suhas Gajre and Dr. Yashwant Joshi, director of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Institute of Engineering and Technology, that they're taking this kind of initiative for the development of their students and the ecosystem as well. Over to you, Dr. Suhas.
Yes, thank you, Rakhi madam. I just formally welcome everybody. I also thank Professor Pandit Vidyasagar sir, Professor Kallurkar sir, Professor Sanjay Jagtap, and all those who are taking efforts in IAS forum. I request Professor Joshi sir to just give a brief about our institute.
Yeah, good evening. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome Honorable Sri Pandit Vidyasagar for this webinar. We have with us Professor S.P. Kallurkar, who happens to be our mentor in starting the Entrepreneurship Center here in Nanded late 80s, and we almost continued to work with that entrepreneurship cell till 1995 or 96. It's a great pleasure to be here. I welcome all the IES members as well as facilitators and resource persons. Apart from that, all those who are attending this webinar through the media that is available to us during these COVID times. It has been possible because of this online modes of conducting such functions. To brief about the institutions, the Guru Gobind Singh Ji Institute of Engineering and Technology, Nanded, is established in the year 1981 as a 100% government-aided institution, which has become autonomous in the year 2004. And since then, we have executed successfully Technical Education Quality Improvement Program 1, 2, and 3. Now, recently, we have been given an extension to the established Center of Excellence in Signal and Image Processing. Apart from this, with reference to the innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystem, we have made a few changes in order to establish this ecosystem into the curriculum as well. Right from the first year, we have given a course by name Engineering Exploration, in which students start doing small projects and understand various technologies available as of now, and start doing simple projects which are really important for their understanding. So a kind of blend of project-based learning, and this is actually given. This we started in the year 2018. This is the third year we started with this course of engineering exploration into the first year itself, wherein students only do. And in the last 2 years, almost every we have roughly an intake of 700 in the first year. We run 10 undergraduate programs, which are given here on the slide. I will not take time to read this out. We also have specializations leading to MTech degree in 10 different disciplines with the given intake here. As regards to curriculum modifications for developing this ecosystem, we also have given more focus on implementing project-based learning. Initially in 1920, at least one course per semester was supposed to be through that mode of project-based learning, wherein we can establish the fact that learning by doing is a better way of learning, and students can actually practice innovative methods through these courses. So that's a very important thing that I feel personally, which is really important. SGS College is actually situated in Nanded, which is if you see the slide, the location is very close to the cross section of the vertical line from Delhi and horizontal line from Bombay, which is our Suhas's invention. In setting up this, that Nanded is very close to a cross section of a vertical line and a horizontal line from Delhi and Bombay respectively. It is 280 kilometers away from Aurangabad, Hyderabad, Pune and so on. Our campus is actually, the name is given because the Gurudwara at Nanded, actually the trust which is named as Sant Harnam Singh Ji Trust, which has actually Langar Sahib Trust, has given this 46 acre of land 5 kilometers away from city center in the village which is near to Vishnupuri area, which is well known for the Swami Ramananda Tirth Marathwada University, whose former vice chancellor is with us today. It is adjacent to Government Medical College. The campus is well maintained, green campus with all different departmental buildings, entirely Wi-Fi campus. About 1,300 students used to stay on campus before this COVID. Now, of course, it is nil. And it's a district place with approximately a population of 6 lakhs plus. So with this brief, I take this opportunity to thank IES for organizing this webinar in collaboration with our institute. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was really nice the way you have told us very briefly about such a great institute. I would like to welcome Dr. Pandit Vidyasagar, who's a resource person, and he has so much to his credit that I would like formally Mr. Sanjay Jagtap to introduce sir, the speaker for today's session.
Welcome you, sir, from IES Forum and HGGS IIT Nanded. Today's session on changing mindset with changing time, and the speaker, Professor Dr. Pandit Vidyasagar, former Vice Chancellor, Swami Ramananda Tirth Marathwada University Nanded. Earlier, Dr. Vidyasagar, sir, the former professor and head Department of Physics, Board of College and University Development of University of Pune. Dr. Vidyasagar, sir, obtained MSc and PhD degree in physics from the University of Pune and has made a significant contribution in the field of bioinformatics, medical and health physics. Dr. Vidyasagar, sir, has shown a great transparency in the field of science and education through unique, significant research work. His diligence bestowed on him prestigious awards such as Best Teacher Award from University of Pune in 1998, Vidyavyas Award in 2003 for the significant contribution in teaching and popularization of science. Maharashtra Sahitya Parishad Golden Jubilee Award in 2005, G.R. Paranjape Vishesh Granth Puraskar for Scientific Writing by the ETH Research Laboratory Pune for the pioneering efforts to popularize science in Marathi that has an extensive experience in administration, research and teaching. Dr. Vidyasagar, sir, has works for popularization of science and have a concept in science in the form of a small concept in Marathi, a unique project in the world. Dr. Vidyasagar, sir, has designed, modified and taught courses at undergraduate level and postgraduate level related to the physics, biophysics and medical instrumentation. Dr. Vidyasagar, sir, provided a leadership in implementing vital projects in higher education and shaping education policy at national and international level. It's brief about today's speaker, Dr. Pandit Vidyasagar, sir. Welcome you, sir, and I will hand over Dr. Rakesh.
Okay. Just project that PPT and project the corrected copy because I had sent earlier. There have been certain mistakes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will just share that copy. Thank you. Yeah.
So, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay, okay.
And I will share in a few moments your presentation. And once, if you want to say next slide, you can say. I am listening.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yes.
Namaskar. I will just introduce, do some introduction, and then till then you can have the.
Sure. You please go ahead for sharing.
Yeah, I'll say a few words about IES and HGGS.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me thank IES and HGGS for giving me opportunity to interact with students and teachers. In fact, IES is a organization which has undertaken the task of propagation of incubation, innovation, entrepreneurship, and all those kinds of things. And it provides support to the institutions and individuals who would like to venture in this area. Now, about HGGS, I had long association before I became Vice Chancellor of Swami Ramananda Tirtha University. I had an opportunity to visit this institute, and since then, I am quite impressed by the progress which this institute has made. And not only progress, but it has taken different paths. And it has always remained in the, say, forefront of change in technology or technical education. And during my tenure, I found that there are many projects which are quite quality projects, and it has established its it has established itself at the national level. Recently, it was actually ranked fourth in the country, and that is a very good achievement. And this is only because of of course, the effort of previous and present director, Dr. Doshi, and his colleagues, who always take initiative in starting new projects and implementing them. Also, in education, they are doing a lot of experiments. And the students, I have seen that they are very enthusiastic, and the teaching learning process is also quite innovative. So with this, I would again thank these two institutions for giving me the opportunity. Now, can you share the slide?
Yes, sir, I will share.
Yeah,
I will share.
In fact, when I was invited to speak on this topic, I started thinking about one question that I asked myself, that if when I was doing research, would it have been possible for me to do innovation or entrepreneurship or get involved in incubation and startup? And obviously the answer came no. Then I thought that why? Why was that? And then I realized that it was only because of the mindset. Because the way we were trained at that time, it didn't involve these kind of things. We were asked to do mastery on the subject, then do research, publish, and stop there. So it was not it was not inculcated among us that we have to go still further. And this is the new concept which is coming in, where you are not satisfied only with the invention, but you have to do innovation also. Then you have to do incubation, you have to do startup, and then you have to be involved in entrepreneurship. And that is why I realized that unless you have a mindset of that kind, you will not be able to do it. Then what is mindset, how it is developed? So we'll have some, say, deliberation on that. Now, I would urge students to see that what is the point I am making, because I am not giving information which is not known to you. This is the common information which is available everywhere. But more important is how you use that information, change yourself, so that you will be able to face the challenges in a better manner. And that will be my focus in this particular lecture. So let us begin with the first question, that what is mind? See, mind is very difficult to define, because you know that in our literature in India, like Patanjali Yoga Sutra, if you read, or there are many, say, scriptures in which the mind, which we call chitta, has been described. But still it is not defined, because there are many things which are not actually clear, whether it is a physical entity or it is not physical entity, whether it resides with the body or it can exist without body. So these are the questions which have not been still answered, but we'll not go into that. What we'll see is what are the characteristics of a mind, what does it contain or what it can do. So it has some certain faculties, and these are of two types. One is cognitive. What is cognitive? That which we are aware about, or we can describe those things, or we can know those things, or we are aware about it. And non-cognitive means we can do it. We do those things, but we will not be able to tell that how do we do that. And these are the two categories or two things which our mind possesses. And in that, the first is consciousness. See, we have certain kind of a consciousness, means some kind of feeling, some kind of understanding, some kind of awareness, and we are means we know it what it is. If you are asked, then you will tell that yes, what you feel, what are your experiences, what you think about the world, and those kind of things. So that is consciousness. Then the most important property which human brain has is the imagination. If you compare yourself with other animals like chimpanzee, which is our next neighbor, they do not possess this kind of property like imagination. Imagine certain thing which is not there. Then perception. So we perceive the things very properly. And not only perceive, but we store, we analyze, then we conceptualize, and we can make those concepts for our own benefit. So that kind of thing is not with the other animals. So that is a property of human being. And thinking, we think. We think about means many things which are presented to us or we come across. And that is the basis of everything, because everything begins in a thought. So thoughts are originated in the mind. And the previous slide. So thinking is very important, and that is also a particular property of our human being. Now intelligence. What is intelligence? Intelligence is related with the higher function. Higher functions are like thinking, we have changed, language we have, then we can create music, we can appreciate music, painting, all kinds of things which human brain does. That is related to the intelligence of the brain. Then judgment. So we can judge what is wrong, what is right. Then language is a characteristic of human being that we have developed very involved language like Sanskrit or English or Marathi or many languages in the world are developed, and that is a characteristic of our brain. Then we can memorize the things and retrieve those things, not only store, but retrieve whenever we want. Now in cognitive, non-cognitive, we have emotion and instinct. Now they cannot be defined. They are subtle things. And I would say that you will need all these characteristics which are cognitive and non-cognitive when you are dealing with innovation, incubation, startups and entrepreneurship. Because in only invention, some of these are used, but not all. But when you are thinking about this thing, you will have to use all those things. Then also mind actually enables us subjective awareness and intentionality. Means we create intentions. We want to do certain things. And they are quite individual, quite personalized. And that is our subjective awareness about ourselves and our plans or programs which we want to carry out. Now, of course, we'll not go into the mind, that is a philosophical subject. So we'll stop there only, because that will take us in a different way. So we'll only say that in philosophy also mind has been described very well. And if you want to read about it, you can read Plato, you can read Socrates, you can read Patanjali. Many scriptures are there where these things have been discussed. Next. Next slide, please. So now from mind we go to mindset. Now question is, why do you need a mindset? Now you know that thoughts are generated in our or originated in the brain. Now whatever thought is originated, it gets processed. It doesn't come out as it is. It gets processed as it comes up. Means it is said that deeper in subconscious mind, the thought is produced, and as it comes to the conscious state, it gets processed. It is acted upon by many things, by our previous experience or many things, notions, our say beliefs, all kinds of things are there, and they process this thought. And that is why it gets modified, it gets changed. And so when they are brought in action, that is not in the original form. See, remember, I will give a very simple example. Sometimes you are very angry with some person. So that is the thought which is generated in your mind. But when you express, it is quite different. Because you may smile also, you may deject, you may go away, you may not say anything. Why does it happen? Because that thought has got processed, and that is the peculiarity of the human brain. So we can consider mindset as a processing machine, and that is the virtual machine, so which we have to create for ourselves. And when that thought is put into that machine has a transfer function, as we have seen in case of signal processing, Laplace transform, we connect it to that. So it has a characteristic transfer function, which you have to build yourself. Nobody can give you. You cannot buy it in the market. You have to develop it yourself. And when you put that thought to that, then you will get an output. Okay. So that is the peculiarity, and that you have to develop. Every student has to develop his or her own transfer function, and that is a mindset. And when you have a proper kind of mindset, proper kind of transfer function, then you will get the proper kind of output. If it is not, then you will not get it. Next. Then where does it happen? Where is the seat of the mind? Next slide, please. Next slide. So this is the human brain. Now human brain, as you compare with other brains, it is bigger in size comparatively, but it is not biggest. There are bigger brain as compared to human being. Then why human brain is superior? It is superior because the types of connections which neurons make in the brain. That is one thing. So our neocortex is more developed as compared to other, say, animals. And that is why that superiority has come to human brain. That is one thing. But there is another peculiarity of human brain which we will need in this discussion. That is that this brain is divided into two parts, two hemispheres, a right hemisphere and left hemisphere. And what are the peculiarities of this hemisphere? We'll see in the moment. But this brain is made up of cells. Now, next slide, you will see that. Next slide, please. These are the types of cells. As you can see that this is very complicated issue. And how many cells are there? There are 100 billion cells in our brain. And each cell, as you can see over there, can make 80,000 connections. So this is a mesh, okay? And this is very complicated. And that is how the brain works. And if you understand this, then you will realize that the brain which you have got is a very powerful machine. And you should understand the potential of your own brain. If you do not understand that, then you will be at loss. Another characteristic of the brain, which I always tell students, is that use it or lose it. If you use it more, it will become more and more sharpened. If you don't use it, it will rust, and then the capacity will go down. So don't afraid of using the brain. God has given you, and it is quite capable of the things. We are not using even 10 to 20% of whatever the capacity of the brain is. So there is enough scope for you to develop your mindset, your capabilities, and if you have that confidence, then you can do anything, because that is what is required, as we see as we go on, that what is required for innovation, invention and all. So these are the characteristics which you have. So don't think that somebody else's brain is superior than you and that is why you cannot do it. No, you can do it. So that is there, only you have to exploit, you have to explore. And once you start exploring the things, then things will happen. And that is what I wanted to tell you in this lecture. Next. So when you consider two hemispheres, it has been found that they have different characteristics. Like left hemisphere is more about logic, sequencing, linear thinking, mathematics, facts, thinking in words. Means whatever is related to word, it is processed in the left hemisphere. Whereas right hemisphere is more imagination, holistic thinking, intuition, arts, rhythm, then non-verbal clues and feeling. Means whatever is art-oriented things, they go to right hemisphere. Whereas more mathematical and logical things, they go to left hemisphere. Now in our education, as we have seen, or you know that, so earlier only left part was more stressed on because we were taught more logic, sequencing, linear thinking and all. And there was a less importance given to the other qualities. But now we talk about emotional quotient also. Unless you are emotionally involved in certain thing, you cannot do the best. And that is realized now. So we have now intelligent quotient, then we have our emotional quotient. And so we have to use, so what is the takeaway message? That we have to develop the whole brain. We cannot develop only part of our brain and leave other, either left or right. So we have to develop whole brain, means both the characteristics we have to develop, and then we have to make them conducive to each other. And that is very important thing which we have to realize, because we are not realizing that. Or the way we were taught, we never realized that is also equally important. Of course, some people do have that kind of thing and they are developed. Like I can write also, I can make poems also. I have done research in physics also. So it happened naturally, but there was no effort in that direction, or I was never taught any literature or that kind, or I was not encouraged, or there was no facility to do that, because it would have been very odd if I would have said that while doing MSc Physics, I want to do a course in Marathi language or some arts or drama or something. People would have laughed at me. But nowadays, it is not there. So our education system and approach is also changing. And that is what students have to realize and take the advantage of it. Because that is within us. That is the characteristic of our brain. And our whole brain development is very important. And once it is done, then you can face these challenges. Next. So, in addition to that, we have daydreaming and other qualities, means we have to develop is like skill and work experience. As Dr. Doshi has said, that HGGS has made special efforts for students to do work experience, learning through activity. That is very important. That is what is envisaged in new education policy. Because new education policy says that unless you have work experience or you have developed certain skill, the education is not complete. And that has been already a part of our education now. Activity-oriented learning. In addition to that, values are very important, because you cannot be, only thinking about business, getting money, becoming rich, and not worrying about the society. You are not sensitive to the social problems. You are not sensitive to the other person's needs. You do not have feelings. That is not expected. So you have to nurture and cultivate certain values in you. And human approach, that is very important, because when we talk about science, we always say that it has to have a human side, because unless science has that kind of say thing, what happened in Second World War, that bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and what was the consideration? Consideration was not human life. Consideration was that how we can win the war in less time and with less effort. That was the consideration. And that should not happen when you are doing business also. So human approach is also very important. Next. So on the basis of that, now this will turn to this invention, innovation, and startup. Now, invention involves the things like curiosity. Like Einstein has said, that you have to have a curious mind. And curious mind is like a touch me not plant. That it can just, means it will be affected with a small touch. And that is how curiosity is. The curiosity, unless it is nurtured properly, it will go out, or it will not be there. So curiosity is a very important thing, because that is the beginning. Unless you are curious about anything, you will not go further. But only curiosity doesn't help, because curiosity, if it arises in your mind and fades away, then it's of no use. You start observing the thing. So observation is very important. When you are doing invention, innovation, observation is very important. And you know that in history of science, observations have made many discoveries. The first you can say is about, now we are talking about COVID or Corona. Jenner's time, that was the rabies, that smallpox was very, say, dreaded disease. And Jenner, what observation he had used? You made use of an observation where it was observed that the males who milk cows are less affected by smallpox. Why was it happening? Because these cattle were also affected by smallpox, and those, say, smallpox, say, were on the uh, that milking area, and that was, I mean, these maids used to come in contact with that, and that is why Jenner thought that some element or something must have gone into the bodies of these maids, and that would make them more resistant to the smallpox virus. And that was the observation, and he used that observation for developing the vaccine. So observations are very important. Then you come next is experiment. Because unless you experiment the thing, explore the thing, you cannot have any solid conclusion or you cannot convert it into a certain application. And that is why experiment is very important. And once you do the experiment, you do analysis, discussion, and conclusion. And then you bring out either law or you can have a concept or something like that. So that is what is there. But innovation is one step ahead, because innovation says that carrying out new combinations. I mean, you have one is invention, but that is not enough. You'll have to combine it with other things also. And that is how it becomes an application. It will not be only invention which will be directly application. It may happen sometimes, but most of the times it is not. So there you have to be very innovative, that how to combine that invention with other things so that it gets converted into an application. And what new things, like new goods you can search for, new methods you have to search, new markets you have to search, new resources or sources and supplies you have to search, new organization of industries, whatever is required for your application, that you have to search. And there your contribution comes through your thinking and understanding and observation and experimentation, and all kinds of things are required for that. Next. Next slide, please. Okay, so newness and improvement and spread are the key words for innovation, and that you have to remember. And innovation can be a market, economical, social, cultural, geographical, anthropological. So innovation is not only technological. So that you have to understand. There are various kinds of ways we'll see in the entrepreneurship. We'll see the types of entrepreneurship. In that case, the innovation also will be related to that. That it is not only technological. Technology is one part of it. But there are many other aspects which are also important, and they are social, cultural, geographical, anthropological, and all. It also involves effective product, processes, services, technology, art, works, business, model. Everything is included in innovation, and that you have to be, you must be aware about all these things. Next. Entrepreneurship. Now, entrepreneurship is the next step. Means you have invention, you have innovation, you have incubation, you have startup. Now in India, you know that there are many startups. And startups, if you go to Google and ask for what are the important startups, you get 50 or list of 50 startups, and which we know they are there. Means Zomato or Ola or many we are using it in everyday life. And these are the startups, and through that entrepreneurship has come up, because they have now become full-fledged companies. They have not remained startups now, but they were initially startups. So entrepreneurship will be a culmination of all these things together, plus some additional things, and that will lead to entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is defined in many ways. The first one is entrepreneurship is a change which may involve other values than simply economic ones. So it is not related to only money or economy. It is related to other things also. We'll see when we see the types of entrepreneurship. Process of designing, launching, and running a new business. It can be said entrepreneurship. Or is an entity which has the ability to find out and act upon opportunities to translate inventions and technology into product and services. So this is very important. Means product means concept to product. In invention, what we did, we started with some concept and we invented and stopped. We didn't go to product because we were not concerned with it. So I have done many research. I have done research work, but it is only published and I stopped there. I didn't never thought that how it can be converted into a product or application or brought into market. I never thought about it. So if you want to do entrepreneurship, you have to go some steps ahead and go to the final product. Next. The exploitation of entrepreneurial opportunities may include developing a business plan, hiring human resources, acquiring financial and market resources, providing leadership, being responsible, risk aversion or risk taking, everything you have to do. You have to know that you have to provide leadership, plus you have to work in a team. So teamwork is very important. We are not trained for that. Fortunately, now the education system has changed, so you will get trained for that. Because you know that means it is said that when two Japanese come together, it is not 1+1, but it is 1 on 1, 11. And probably when two Indians come together, it is 1 - 1, 0. So that should not happen. It should be 11. So we have to go in that direction. We have to change our mindset. We have to learn to work in a team. And also through that, you learn how to lead. So leadership is also very important. Now, use of incubation and seed accelerators. You have to make use of whatever things are available. Nowadays, in most of the universities, they have now incubation centers, and where you get the facilities or you are provided facilities, even you are provided financial assistance to convert your idea into a startup. So incubators are there. So you will have to make use of those things, use your acumen in that, and then convert it into further, you go to entrepreneurship. Next. So what are the types of entrepreneurship? This is very important. Ethnic, traditional, like our in India, there are some traditions or some say families. There is a business in that, or they are entrepreneurs since long, hundreds of years. Then institutional, like Tatas. Cultural, feminist means now these are the types. Feminist is the application of feminist values and approaches for improving quality of life and well-being of women. So if you take this as a concept, then it is able to build the entrepreneurship. Social, to develop, fund and implement solution to social, cultural and environmental issues. Like Anandavan, you can say. Now, though it is not making profit, it is entrepreneurship. So they run it very professionally. And if you go there, you'll be surprised that those people who are actually disabled, they are running it so beautifully that that is the way you have to transform the society. So cultural and environmental issues also can be dealt with the entrepreneurship. Next. Nascent is the new service or products which are not there earlier, but now we are doing it. Then project based is a very, means like building a bridge or something like that. There is a specific project to which you are dealing with, and it will have a limited lifespan. So it is only restricted to that only. Then digital technology and mass media is new say ventures which you will have to, as we will see the applications, in that you will realize that this has acquired a very important position in entrepreneurship. And most of the new things which are coming are related with the digital technology. Next. Now, what are the ingredients which are required? This is a very important point because this is where students will have to really say pay attention. Other working with peers is very important. So you learn many things when you are working with the peers, and that effort you should make. You should get attached to good companies, good CEOs, good experts in industries, and you will learn a lot which you will not learn otherwise. Or it will take years for you to learn that thing, which you can learn with very less time with the peers, and that is the advantage. Or experience, whatever some people have past experience That also you can make it for yourself. Then strong internal motivation. This is very important in entrepreneurship. What is that? It is defined as a state that includes child's capacity for joyful and lengthy periods of intense concentration. This is also known as flow. Means Pele. When Pele was asked that how can he make goals so many goals like that, so he told that when the ball came to his possession, after that he forgot everything. He only saw the ball and the goalpost. That's all. Nothing he was aware about what is happening around him, whether players are chasing him or this or that. Nothing. He knew only two things: that the ball, that position has to be there, and you have to go to the goalpost. That is called flow, state of flow. Another thing is there that is called exciting pleasure center. There was an interesting experiment which was done with the mouse. What was that experiment? That the pleasure center of the mouse was excited by passing a small current through electrode in the brain. And how it was excited? That mouse was put in a cage and there was a lever. So if that mouse presses that lever, he will get a shock. That mouse will get a shock. But at the same time, the pleasure center is excited. And to the surprise of the scientist, that mouse went on pressing the lever because that pleasure center compelled him to do that, even though he was actually getting the shock. Now in entrepreneurship, you will get that kind of a thing. If your pleasure center is excited by the thing which you are doing it, then you will not mind any difficulties or any pains or any inconveniences which you will face in the process. If you are not, then you will be bogged down by those things and then you will leave the effort. So this is very important. That is a strong internal motivation is very important. And that comes through the pleasure only. Once you start taking pleasure of the thing, then you don't bother about whatever are the inconveniences or whatever efforts you are putting or difficulties are coming in your way. And that is experience. Means you can ask your teachers also that how they actually overcame the difficulties in their life. And then you realize that they enjoyed their work. They enjoyed the work. And once you start enjoying the work, then all other things become immaterial. The quality and type of early education, that also matters. So education, what type of education you get? That's what I was saying. The type of education we got was not conducive for incubation, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Not at all. Because we were educated in a different way. Now you are being educated or you are given opportunity to get educated. Because see, teachers can take you to the water or horse can be taken to the water, but whether to drink or not, it's his choice. So similarly, there are opportunities which are created. Your, say, responsibility or is to make use of those opportunities or misuse them to the fullest extent. And that is very important. Then a small quality, distrust. See, you should not be overconfident or optimistic because entrepreneurship, every moment you will have to be conscious or you have to distrust in the things happening that they may go otherwise, they may go other way, they may go other way. And if that is the case, then those firms are more successful. That is what the outcome of the studies is. So that also you have to learn. Next. Risk assessment and alertness is very important. Then task selection and analysis that you have to do. That is the left brain you have to make use of. Leadership. And it is not only local leadership, but global leadership you have to worry about. And what is the what characteristics are required or what are the types of leadership in the world? Some are charismatic. Okay. Charismatic, you know that means they go by only by their aura. Some are participative, like Infosys and other things. They have adopted those kind of things. Authoritarian. So these are also there. Some of their only word of the boss is final. Nobody else is allowed to. So what kind of leadership you want to develop, you have to think. Then you must have capacity to adapt local conditions and get insight of other cultures. This is called global citizenship. So nowadays, global citizenship is very important, and that concept also you have to understand, because you have to be a good Indian citizen, no doubt about it. But at the same time, you have to have you should be a global citizen. What does it mean? That you should be aware about the cultures and customs of other nations, other societies, so that you will not feel awe when you have an opportunity or compulsion to work. Suppose you want to work in Dubai. Now we had a center at Dubai, Pune University, and I was in charge of that. So when I visited that center, I realized that the students coming for the course are from various countries, and there are many students from Pakistan also. Now it is the duty of the teacher to be careful not to utter any word or any sentence or any comment which will hurt their sentiments, you have to realize. And that happens only when you are a global citizen. So that mindset is very important for you, for all the students. So don't get bogged down by only whatever you know about Marathwada or Nanded or that local area or wherever you are. You have to open up yourselves, accept the things which are other places, and they may be different or they may be opposite also sometimes. Sometimes customs are very opposite. Like I will give an example that in our culture, if somebody gives you a gift, it is very unpolite to open that gift in front of that person. But in Western culture, if somebody gives a gift and if you don't open, that is the unpoliteness. So this is just opposite, means these are the customs. So there is nothing, means you have to understand that in which situation what you have to do or how you should behave. And that is a very good characteristic of a leadership which we will have to acquire, because you are in 21st century. 20th century is gone. So 21st century will come with the new challenges, and those challenges you will have to face. Next. Training and education is very important. There is a direct relation between education and success. So if you are self-employed and you have a graduate degree, then you have a better chance to be consistent in this area. Now, Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg are exceptions. Remember, they are dropouts. So many times their examples are quoted, and many times we may think that what is the use of education which we are taking? No, that is not the case, because these are the exceptions. What is the rule? Rule is that higher the education, higher the success. So remember, whatever education you are taking, if you are taking in a proper way, and if you are making use of all the opportunities given to you, then there is a better chance that you will succeed. Next. So these are the objectives of our new education policy. I may not repeat this because this has been given, that we have to contribute to the development of our country. That is very important. And that is why these are the things which we have to develop, like vocational bias, skill development, research, use of technology. All these things are required, and that you will be doing. Next. There is only one point in this slide, and that is, our students now, up till now, they were able to read, they were able to write, they were able to speak, but they were not able to do anything. Now you have to see that you can do the things. Unless you have capacity to do the things, you will not be, suitable for, means to live in this world. So that is the change which is coming in new education policy, that we are training our students to do the things, do with your own hands. Like BSc physics student was not able, or even now is not able to replace the fuse because he is never taught or he has never opportunity to do that. So, like engineering students also, they have less experience. And I have personal experience because two of my sons are engineers. So I knew that how much little experience they had, practical experience. So that is, we have to enhance it. And HGGS is providing you all the facilities for that, or many other engineering college for that matter. And students, whoever are listening to this lecture, they should make a resolve to make use of all these opportunities which are provided to them. Next. So what are the emerging areas? I have listed few and I'll list few more. Automatic driving is a challenge now, it's coming. That vehicles will drive automatically, no driver is required. So what are the things required for that? Composite material is another area, that where you are using living and non-living thing together to form a material which has different characteristics, like ceramic and proteins together. Artificial intelligence is the area which is coming up very well. I will cite examples for that also. Bionic living species means a person with prosthetic, okay, which is electronic. And nowadays they become the part of your body. Like pacemaker was there right from the beginning. But now you have more and more parts which can be replaced with the, say, means you'll have the artificial parts in our body. And that bionic living is coming, and day by day it will increase. So more and more parts will be in our body. Like hand, now you have a prosthetic hand. Now that hand is as good as our hand. Means it can be controlled. All movements of the fingers can be controlled. You have grip, you can drive, all sort of things can be done. So that is a new challenge which is coming up, and there is a scope in this area. Next. I was going through one this thing, that there are 10 areas they have specified which will be important in your future. First is, this is the micro needle for painless, say, injections and tests. Now, is it possible? Now, in nature, you find the example. You know the lich, if you have gone to the jungles, because we had been to South India jungle, and there after we walked few kilometers, we found that our legs are bleeding, but we never realized that. And that was because of the leeches, which actually got connected to our body. They sucked the blood and they went away, but still we are not aware about that, because this leech will anesthetize that part where they are actually sucking the blood. And because of that, there is no sensation. So such kind of things can we introduce in a needle. So if you do that, it will be a painless injection. And painless injections are very important now. They are important because children, in case of children, you know that they get scared because of that. And that those kind of shocks can be avoided. Even adults are very sensitive to that. When the injection means the needle is inserted in our artery to suck out the blood or take out the blood for hemogram or any other test like kidney, liver, and those kind of things. Or in case of diabetes, you calculate HbA1c and those kind of things. So they need blood, 5 ml, 6 ml. And that time, many adults are panicking. So this will be avoided if you have this kind of a needle. Next. Sun-powered chemistry, that whatever CO2 has been generated, can we use sunlight and chemical reaction to convert this CO2 into materials which can be used for other purposes. So that is the idea, that whatever is waste which is generated or it is harmful can be converted into a useful application or useful product. And that is another area where people are working. Next. Spatial computing. This is for virtual, means you can take an object, virtualize it, okay, and then two objects can interact. So as if they are living or they are in proper state. So that can happen on the, say, in silico or say in virtual. So those kind of things are being also developed. Next. This is in silico medicine. So this is the another concept. So you can test drug in virtual organs, okay, and how predict how that drug will work. Like for example, you create a protein in silico protein, and then you have a drug molecule. Now what you can do is by calculating the forces, you can find out where that molecule go and bind. And if it goes and binds at the active site, it means that it will affect that protein. And that is what drug does. So this drug testing can be done in silico. So you don't have to do actual experiments. Or if you have to do, you have to do very few experiments. Means there will be no time lost in finding out that what kind of molecule is important to act on a particular protein. So if you know it beforehand, then only thing you'll have to do is you'll have to carry out that actual experiment in the animal. And that will save a lot of time, that will save a lot of money, and that will means convenience you can have. Like say COVID. Now, it has come first time, so we are not aware about it. So it took lot of time, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, to understand that what kind of proteins are there and where you have to really act. So this will be solved if you know if you have this kind of system. Next. Next slide, please. So this is a diagnosis by using digital techniques. So if you know the symptoms and this thing, then you can diagnose that what kind of effects may have and all. So this is like in silico doctor only. This concept is there for a long time. But now there is a lot of improvement in that because the accuracy is going developing day by day. And you know that biological systems are adaptive systems. They keep on changing. And that is why a solution which you have found earlier may not be useful the next day because they are dynamic systems. They are changing. They have capacity to change, capacity to adapt. And this will remain always a challenge that once you solve one problem, you'll have to again face it next time. Like this COVID itself or coronavirus itself is changing its properties day by day. Next, mutation that is called. Now, electric aviation will bring a lot of advantage because pollution will be less and you can use electrical, say, power to fly, say, helicopters or aeroplanes or those things. So that way the developments are going. Next, it will reduce the pollution also. Low carbon cement because carbon, you know that because of the CO2, we have global warming. And that global warming is causing havoc all over the world. You know that weather is changed, climate means change, then you have got floods, then droughts, then typhoons, all these things we are facing. And this is happening because of carbon, because carbon remains in the atmosphere, it absorbs the heat which is radiated by the earth and it increases the atmospheric temperature. And when this is happening, means it is called global warming, and this global warming is causing havoc. So if you can reduce the carbon going to the atmosphere, that will be a great boon. And this happens that most of the carbon which we get in the atmosphere is through the cement making. So if you use a process where less carbon is produced, then it will be advantageous. Next. Quantum sensing is a great area which is still in infancy. You know that quantum mechanics, that at very small particle levels, the things happen in a very different way. And that means that is quantum computing is coming up, and quantum computing is very powerful and it will require very small space. Means we are talking about these circuits, which are very micro circuits we are talking about. They will be still smaller than that. And for that you need sensors because quantum computing if you've done and if you want to communicate, then you need sensing also. So developing sensors for that will be a big challenge and that is the area which is coming up. Next. The last is about hydrogen fuel. That is also people are thinking very seriously because if you use hydrogen as a fuel, What comes out is the water. So there is no pollution. So this is a clean fuel. And that is why green hydrogen, that is they call it. There are of course different ways of producing hydrogen. I can, now there is no time, but I can cite one example. That in case of photosynthesis, you can use bacteria. Now, in normal course, bacteria will actually what they will do? They will use this solar light or sunlight and combine water and carbon dioxide and form CH2O. This is the normal course of photosynthesis. But if you deprive this bacteria for sulfur, or sulfur is not there, then what happens? They produce hydrogen. And that is how you can get hydrogen from the bacteria. Now there are many efforts in that direction that you have to increase the amount of hydrogen produced because efficiency is very small. So now people are doing mutations of these bacteria. And I have seen this experiment long back in Glasgow itself, where British scientists have shown that how did they produce the fuel or the hydrogen, clean hydrogen, and that was used to run a small car. So these efforts are there. This is one experiment. There are many other experiments which are people are doing to create a clean fuel. And if you get it, then that will be a great revolution for us. So these are the areas which I have just stated that where you can venture or where there is a scope for doing innovations, inventions, entrepreneurship, everything is there. So that will be for your benefit. So in conclusion, I will say that this is a whole genome synthesis is also another project. Now you know that our body is run by these DNAs which are there in the nucleus. And these, what they do, they carry the code. And this code is actually the information which sustains us because it makes the proteins and that is how our body functions. So if you can artificially synthesize the whole brain, then you can even bring out new creatures or new kinds of animals and those, there are so many things which are there. Or if there is any defect in our body like Alzheimer or Parkinson's disease, now they are because of the change in the genes. So if you have this technology, then you can make corrections. Or even though cancer means if it is found that it is related to the genetic variation, then you can correct those genes and then you get the cure. So that is a big challenge and that can also happen in future. Next. So now I will stop here because there are many techniques which are being introduced to study at the single molecule level and all, but I will not discuss that. So in short, what I was saying that when you comprehend the whole issue of invention, incubation, entrepreneurship and startup and all kinds of things, that is your mind, which is very important. Unless you comprehend it in a proper way and train yourself and get involved emotionally, you will not be able to do anything in this area. So if you can if I am successful in taking up this message to you, then I will feel happy that my lecture was actually beneficial to you. So I again thank IAS and also HGGS. HGGS is a very special institute and I had enjoyed interaction with this institute during my tenure. Dr. Wagmare was there, all these Dr. Joshi and Gazre and everybody had a very enthusiastic interaction with the university and the university system. So I wish them all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now I request Professor Y.V. Joshi to give just a brief comment.
Sir, it was a wonderful lecture and you have provided us guidelines on how to proceed further in our journey towards innovation entrepreneurship. Thank you very much for your wonderful talk and we would love to once again invite you for many such sessions on various topics. Your experience is really important for institute like ours to progress further. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. So with the permission of IES, let me take this opportunity to thank everyone here. First and foremost, I thank Professor Pandit Vidyasagar sir because I have been actually very fan, I can say, of his lectures. I told him also over the mail that I remembered his lecture when I and Professor Manthadkar visited Sub-Center Latur for signal and image processing course. And I still remember his lecture what he has presented. He has done a kind of a comprehensive analysis of signal and image processing from a physics point of view. And that was a very wonderful lecture, sir. And since then, I am your fan. So you could find the time and give your inputs to our students and many other students who have joined this lecture live. This was also streamed using YouTube also. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, from personal behalf as well as from IES Forum's behalf and HGGS Institute of Engineering and Technology. I also thank all those who are associated with IES Forum, including Professor Kallurkar sir. As Professor Joshi was telling in the initial few comments, that he was associated with us since 1980s. And he kind of pioneered entrepreneurship development cell in Marathwada because he was in charge of entrepreneurship development cell under the leadership of Professor B.M. Naik, visionary leader, I can say, and Professor Kallurkar, Professor Naik, and the young team, the then young team of Professor Joshi, Professor Sontakke, Professor Wagmare, and all other lecturers, and they were very young there and they contributed a lot in developing us as a student because I am product of HGGS itself. So thank you, Kallurkar sir. Thank you all other IES Forum people, especially Sanjay. You have been very kind of on the edge on me always. Sir, we have to do this. Sir, we have to do that. So thank you very much. I also thank all the heads who have joined, heads of the department. I can see many of them. Some have joined, some have left. But thank you all the heads and deans and registrar, all the other faculty members who have joined. Thank you students, because this was for you. Since this recording will be available on YouTube, you can always check if you have missed some of the contents due to connectivity issues, because we can see that there is at 5 to 6 p.m. there is actually some kind of connectivity and data issues for students, because it's the fag end of the day and there are some data issues. Yeah. So thank you students, and thank you Rakhi madam, that you have taken the responsibility to act as a master of ceremony. If I have left somebody, it is inadvertent mistake and it's my mistake. So it's not the mistake of organizers, right? So thank you very much. So with this, I think we have come to the end of this program, and we can call it for a day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, sir. It was a pleasure.
Yes, sir. It was a pleasure to see you after long.
Thank you.
So thank you. I am stopping the meeting so that the IT team also can stop the recording and stop the streaming. So have a nice evening. Thank you. And tomorrow is Sunday.